The iPhone 17 versus the iPhone 17 Pro. How wide will the difference be this year for new iPhones? Apple has spent the previous several years offering its iPhone Pro models that extra little push with capabilities not accessible on the basic iPhone. But that wasn't the case with the iPhone 16, which brought enough additional features to dispel practically any FOMO you may have had by not paying extra for the iPhone 16 Pro. Will that pattern continue this year with the iPhone 17 versus the iPhone 17 Pro comparison? Initial speculations regarding Apple's iPhone 17 plans portray a mixed picture. While the ordinary iPhone is anticipated to acquire a long-awaited display enhancement that will equal what the Pro versions have offered for years, the iPhone 17 Pro is set to see the more substantial improvements, notably to its design and cameras. And Apple might be contemplating a CPU surprise too, that may influence how you assess the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro. We're a few months away from the iPhone 17 debut because Apple generally puts out new phones around September. But enough speculations about all the new models in the works have surfaced to give us a solid feel of how the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro may compare. Here's how a hypothetical iPhone 17 versus iPhone 17 Pro face-off is shaping out, with a specific attention on the largest changes as well as crucial commonalities. Save for the number of camera lenses on the rear of each model and the screen size, every iPhone in Apple's portfolio tends to appear the same. That may be changing with the iPhone 17. Based on leaked images and CAD designs, the iPhone 17 will appear much like earlier generations. However, it may feature a more prominent camera array than the current iPhone 16. The two back cameras will still be placed vertically, however. Apple looks to be adopting a different approach with the iPhone 17 Pro, expanding the camera array horizontally over the back of the phone. The three back cameras will continue to be positioned in a triangle arrangement on the right side of the phone, but additional sensors, including the flash, will be shifted to the left. Currently, Pro versions come with a titanium frame, and there's some rumors of Apple eliminating that feature with the iPhone 17 Pro. I'm not sure I entirely believe it at this moment, considering how strongly titanium enters into the branding of Apple's Pro phones. The basic iPhone contains a primary camera and an ultra-wide lens on the rear, while the Pro devices add a telephoto lens to that combination. That isn't changing with the iPhone 17 series. However, it seems like the iPhone 17 Pro is in line to gain a considerably greater increase to its camera configuration. Along with the 48 megapixels fusion camera that acts as the primary shooter and a 48 megapixels ultra-wide camera, speculations suggest the iPhone 17 Pro to adopt a 48 megapixels telephoto lens. That's a better resolution than the 12 megapixels zoom lens on the iPhone 16 Pro, albeit the trade-off for that higher resolution may be a shorter zoom. The iPhone 17 Pro telephoto camera will apparently only provide a 3.5x optical zoom compared to 5x on the existing model, which doesn't make sense. Meanwhile, the iPhone 17 will still have to depend on its 48 megapixels primary camera to approximate a 2x optical zoom, since there's no zoom lens anticipated for that phone. In fact, it's commonly expected the back camera system on the iPhone 17 will be the same as what the iPhone 16 delivers. The iPhone 17 Pro is also likely to pick up a new function not accessible on the ordinary iPhone 17. A report suggests Pro phones will offer dual video recording, letting you to shoot video from both the front and rear cameras simultaneously. One additional camera update might influence both the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro. All new iPhones are in line to gain a 24 megapixels selfie camera, replacing the existing 12 megapixels lens. You'd expect Apple to retain a little distinction between the basic iPhone and the Pro model coming autumn by offering both phones slightly different chipsets. If Apple keeps to its trend from the previous several iPhone launches, the iPhone 17 would receive an A19 system on chip, while the iPhone 17 Pro would benefit from an A19 Pro that delivers a bit more processing power, especially when it comes to graphics. The changes might be much more evident with the iPhone 17, however. One expert thinks the regular iPhone 17 will continue to employ an A18 chip, mirroring what Apple did with the iPhone 14. If that's the case, the performance gap between an A18-powered iPhone 17 and an iPhone 17 Pro with an A19 Pro processor may be fairly striking. As for the memory, unlike the iPhone 16, the iPhone 17 is rumored to contain 8 GB of RAM to aid with all the on-device computation that Apple Intelligence features need. But the iPhone 17 Pro might receive a boost in that area. Specifically, numerous experts are expecting that the Pro versions would receive a jump to 12 GB of RAM, as Apple attempts to give the iPhone 17 Pro a performance advantage. iPhone 17 price is up in the air given the ever-fluctuating regulations concerning tariffs coming out of Washington. Even before tariffs threatened to hike the cost of gadgets made in China like iPhones. However, there has been rumors of certain iPhone 17 versions costing more than their predecessors. Regardless of how iPhone pricing works out in the autumn, it's a fair bet that the iPhone 17 will cost less than the iPhone 17 Pro. Currently, the iPhone 16 begins at $799, while the iPhone 16 Pro has a $999 asking price. That disparity in pricing is a very reasonable indication, but there is a potential it may expand if the Pro model gets a price bump and the basic phone doesn't. After years of keeping its regular iPhones with refresh rates limited at 60 Hz, Apple seems like it's finally going to give a feature that's relatively typical on premium phones these days, a fast refreshing display. Multiple sources show the iPhone 17 using an LTPO panel for its display, a move that would allow the phone to deliver refresh rates of up to 20 Hz. That implies speedier scrolling and more immersive visuals, and it would match a feature the iPhone Pro models have given since the iPhone 13 Pro. The iPhone 17's fast refreshing display may not be totally on par with what the iPhone 17 Pro provides, as some sources say the refresh rate on the ordinary model may not be able to scale all the way down to 1 Hz. Still, there is one area where the difference between the standard iPhone and the Pro model may decrease dramatically. The iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Pro screens may have something else in common. Some are anticipating Apple to raise the panel of the iPhone 17 to 6.3 inches, reflecting a jump in screen size announced with the iPhone 16 Pro last year. However, one new distinction in displays might arise. The iPhone 17 Pro may lower the size of the dynamic island feature, freeing up more screen real estate. It's unclear whether that modification is coming to the ordinary iPhone 17. Then yet, a more recent article suggests all models will decrease the dynamic island. The iPhone 17 Pro versions are reported to be adopting a vapor cooling chamber as a substitute for the traditional heat sinks seen in existing iPhones. The aim is that the new chamber would keep the iPhone operating smoothly while reducing overheating during processor-intensive operations, an issue that's flared up with several recent versions. Opinion is varied among rumor mongers as to whether this functionality is restricted to the Pro phones or if all iPhone 17 models will benefit from the transition. We'll include this feature here for now. However, it might migrate over to the differences column if we acquire more details ahead of the iPhone 17 launch. How thick is the iPhone 17 series? According to a social media video, the mock iPhone 17 Pro Max looks to be thicker than the current iPhone 16 Pro Max. Here's the size of each gadget, but remember, this is a fake unit and the measurements might vary when the phone launches. 1. iPhone 16 Pro Max, 8.25mm thick. 2. iPhone 17 Pro Max, 8.725mm thick, rumored. That's roughly half a millimeter thicker. While it's not much in the broad scheme of things, it indicates that Apple isn't exclusively focused with building the thinnest, lightest phone possible. People who purchase the Pro Max devices, myself included, prefer to favor the biggest screen and the greatest functionality, and size isn't a major consideration. Most likely, Apple wants to cram as much battery as possible into its high-end phone, and making it even less than a millimeter thicker should allow it to offer a little more capacity, which will directly translate to more extended periods between charges and could certainly cement its place as one of the best phones. While Boo has a great track record of Apple leaks, he accurately anticipated the iPhone 16 name change, for example. You should still take this leak with a grain of salt, since nothing has been verified by Apple yet. We likely won't hear anything formal regarding the iPhone 17 series until September, when the firm is slated to introduce its next iPhone updates. All iPhone 17 versions launching in the autumn will arrive with the same software on board. And now that Apple has had its Worldwide Development Conference 2025 presentation, we have a fairly solid idea as to what that software will bring. iOS 26 principally focuses on providing a new liquid glass interface to Apple's phones, unifying the appearance of Apple's software across its phones, Macs, and other devices. But there are Apple Intelligence upgrades included in iOS 26 too, such as a more powerful visual intelligence tool and new additions to Genmoji and Image Playground. While Apple might potentially surprise us at the iPhone 17 debut with some Pro-specific software capabilities, the same iOS 26 features should perform as well on the iPhone 17 as they do on the Pro. Make no mistake, the iPhone 17 Pro is going to continue to provide more premium features than the iPhone 17, even if the fast refreshing display coming to Apple's entry-level flagship checks off a large box that had been dividing the two phones. The Pro still seems to have the superior camera configuration, with more video capturing tools at your disposal. And if the suspected changes in chipsets play true, there might be a substantial performance disparity between the two variants as well. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.